Okay, thanks Anton, most interesting. And then it will be Hans himself giving us a bit of an overview and some background to something that has become very popular amongst the Cube crowd. They drive you nuts on Hans, they do drive you nuts on the WhatsApp group. And seems like everybody interested in working the satellites has got one these days. Hans, all yours.
Hier dan is verkeerd om voor, hoe heet het dat? Is for ladies blazers, because they have buttons on the other side. Right, I think by this time everybody knows this little thing, and it has an interesting background. Originally it was developed. Is it nog in? It's software defined. Yeah, I want to make some comment on that just now. I mean, we're going to hear about Kletsko's a little later after tea, but you know, I think there's a race going to be between Anton and Leon, if you ask me, because I see they're both vying to get their stuff ready to fly, and of course, whichever one is going to be ready is going to fly first. Although maybe we can fly both at a reasonable interval. But anyway, everybody knows this antenna. It was developed originally as an easy antenna that could be put together for Jota, for young people. You know, we had these 70 people from all over the world, or all over Europe at least, and region-wide, that came to South Africa. It was hosted by the SARL, and just a great event, great young people. Just amazing. And what happened is they designed this antenna for that purpose, and then the kids put it together. It's not quite as easy as this. It was a lot, can I say, a bit more crude than this particularly industrialized development. But it worked extremely well. And what I found so interesting is that the guys built that thing, and then they went out, you know, they were finished for a while to go and have supper. And you know what, wherever you saw them walking around the complex or the hotel where the Jota took place, these guys were putting these things skywards, and they were operating various different satellites. They were starting to look at commercial stuff. They started looking at all kinds of things, and this worked wonderfully. Then the idea came up, well, we really there's a lot of FM satellites that need a simple antenna, so let's do something about this. So we took the design that was originally produced by a number of people, and Guy, and he's not here today, but Guy was very involved in sort of procuring the materials and stuff like that. And Gary Immelman, in his various factories, produced the antenna. He adapted the design and all that kind of stuff. I think we've sold 180 now in the country. But he donated us 200, and we still need to get 12 from him that he's short supplied, and after that, AMSAT SA has to start paying for them. So it helped our funds, and it means is that we got some funds available for the development of the two satellites. There's the various picture, but some interesting facts about it. And that is, it's close to resonance at 50 ohm impedance. It has an 80 dB isolation between 2 meters and 7 meter antenna, which is quite unusual because cross-band operation without a duplexer, you normally would not find that kind of separation. But it's simply in that design. It's easy to handle. I mean, it's got a nice handle, which the original one didn't have. And the ones in the US, they also make a similar one in the US, but it's not as neat as this, and actually people in Europe and the US are asking us to export it. We're looking at that, but the problem is the cost of actually transport there. It makes it very unattractive at this point. Maybe we'll find some people to stock the things locally in Europe. And it's color-coded for easy assembly, so you pull the things off, put it in the bag. You know, you've seen it comes in a nice bag. You just put it off, put it in the bag, and put it in the back of your car, and you're going to operate satellites, all the FM satellites, wherever you are quickly and easily. And that's what the guys are doing, but they're also using it for something else. But there's something else about, if you know, using an FM satellite with this antenna is like fishing. You've got to fish for the signal. It's not to say that it's the best that way. Sometimes, because of the modulation and the position of the satellite, you tell it's likely this way, it's likely that way. You know, I find the other day I couldn't get it to work. When I pointed it at the ground, I got a better signal. They were pointing it up. But there's all sorts of reflections that can take place. But and it's a bit hard to show that. But if you look at the standing wave ratio on 145/800, it's almost 1.1, something like it. 1.0, I think it's 1.05. And the same thing, if you look at the at 435, you get the same thing. So it has a very good SWR at the frequencies which most of these FM satellites operate, and that's why it makes it so efficient and effective. But there are other uses for it other than using it for satellites, and that's, I just found somebody took part in the VHF contest, and he used that particular satellite mast mounted on top of his mast on 70 centimeters, because 70 centimeters it has a higher gain than on 2 meters, because you have more elements on 70 centimeters. And he uses it like that, and he says it performed better than some of his other homebrew stuff that he was using in the contest, and he did quite well. And then you go visit the game parkway, and you don't miss out. And this guy received his antenna the day before he left for the cross-frontier park, whatever they call it, near between Botswana and South Africa and Namibia. And he operated lots of times all over the game park. So, you know, it's just a useful thing if you're really that phonetic. And I tell you what, the guys at the FM satellites are phonetic. Because today, I must have had about 60 WhatsApp messages about guys making comment of they either worked it or they didn't hear each other. I don't know. I don't know why you want to tell somebody you didn't hear him, because obviously you wouldn't have been on, I guess. But yeah. So, and then even the older guys using it for fox hunting. This is a picture taken in Cape Town recently. We had a fox hunt Saturday afternoon, and if you can see there's quite a few of the AMSAT antennas that are being used there. So it's a very versatile little tool, if you like. Right now I have only 2 in stock. I hope to get another 12 or 15 next week, and then we'll place a further order for another 100 after that, and that will take about 4 weeks. What happens is, at the moment, we have problems with the aluminium, but you know, Gary says no sweat. He's got one of his factories, and he told them to set up to produce and extrude the aluminium to the requirements that we have for this antenna. So that's the story about the AMSAT SA dual band antenna. If you haven't ordered one, you better get your name in. At the moment it sells at $250 for SRL and AMSAT members, $350 for non-members. Quite surprised how many non-members actually buy it. They pay the $350. And if you get it by postnet, it's the extra 120 Rand, and it comes in a bag, it's nicely wrapped, and it arrives very safely, and we shipped it to all over South Africa. So as I told you, quite many. And on that note, if you have no questions, then we have a quick tea session and coffee, and then we come back in 15 minutes, please. Or bring your tea and coffee.